Happy Kaz here, welcome to my studio and welcome to a little time of watercolor painting together. I love showing you how to do different little pictures, and I'm not going to tell you exactly what we're doing, so maybe just follow along and let's just see what happens. These little classes are not about making the perfect picture, they are about you enjoying the process, choosing your favorite colors and just seeing what happens. So let's make a little bit of happy mess together and see what we can create. So let's just go through a few of the little things that we're going to need right now. Obviously you're going to need your watercolor paper, you're going to need some watercolor paints. Whatever you have is absolutely fine as long as they are watercolor, and just a couple of little paint brushes here, and let's get started. So I thought I might just pick a beautiful red color to start with, and I just want to make sure when we're using watercolor paints, we want to make sure that we've got quite a bit of water in it, because when we're adding other colors to what we are painting, they'll blend in beautifully. So let's just create some little arches here, and I might do some big ones and some smaller ones over here. So nothing exact, nothing too perfect. Let's just create some arches. Now, little one down there too. Now I'm going to wash my brush and I'm going to pick another color to go underneath it. What's beautiful about watercolor painting, I might just use this palette here and pick a yellow color. What's beautiful about watercolor painting is when you're adding another color right next to something you've already painted, it blends in straight away. You'll see that. So I'm adding a color here of yellow right underneath this other color, and you can see it beautifully blending. So I want you to enjoy watching that as we add the other color underneath. Some of you may already know what we're painting today. That's okay. So let's keep adding this beautiful yellow color. You might even like to add it on the top as well. In fact, I will with this one. I think that's all of them. Okay, let's add another color, maybe a beautiful green. And again, this watercolor is still wet on my page. So as I'm adding these, it's blending into the one above it or below it. And we definitely want to see that. It's really beautiful to watch. Nature is one of my main inspirations for most of things that I like watercolor painting, and you'll often see me walking out in nature collecting just odds and ends that I find, you know, shells or little tree nuts or whatever it is. I'm always bringing something back just to inspire me, so I'll often have them around my table as well. Okay, let's add another color. I might go back to a nice bright red again. Can anyone see what's happening here? I am seeing like a beautiful rainbow right now, and I'm adding another color on top here and another one, and these two as well. And again, you might pick to put them underneath or on top, doesn't really matter. Here, I think I've got room for maybe one more dark color. I think I'll use my smaller brush. Maybe a darker green and a blue. We definitely need to add a blue in, don't we? Let's put in a green here. And you can see here I'm not being perfect with how I'm doing this. I'm literally just adding in the color and just seeing what happens here. Don't be concerned if yours doesn't look exactly like mine. I hope it doesn't. I hope it looks exactly like yours. That's what we're aiming for. Another beautiful green. They are all a little bit odd shaped, but you know what? I'm enjoying myself right now, and I hope you are too. Okay, let's add, I think we'll just add blue. You might have picked some other colours that are particularly your favourites too, so that's fine too. Oh, look at that. Yes, it definitely needed the blue. As I'm adding this blue, you can see it drawing down into the red, which is creating this other colour, purple. And that was not something I planned at all. Okay, let's add that beautiful blue. Again, I'm not being super perfect with this. This is just a bit of a blending exercise, really. But you know what, you still get an amazing picture at the end. Okay, oh, a little bit more water with that one. If you find your brush, you come with white spots there, just means you need a little bit more water. Okay, oh, I feel like this is blended a bit. I want to add a little bit more blue on this top part, I think. You might look at yours and go, oh, you know what, I'm going to add more green, or I'm going to add more red, whatever that is. Let's just do this last little one here. Look at these beautiful rainbows. I also love how they're blending into each other too. Such a beautiful process, isn't it? Okay. Oh, I'm loving that. How is yours looking right now? Have you got lots of beautiful colors happening on your page as well? Perhaps you've picked colors that I haven't picked either. So I'll look forward to seeing how yours turn out. Now, there's one more little thing that I would love to add to this picture, and you'll see this on a lot of my watercolor pictures. I love splatting, and I feel this page definitely needs some splatting. So let me just show you how we're going to do that. Now, I think I'm going to pick a really bright color. Let me see what I've got on this palette here. I'm going to pick this really bright hot pink color. And again, just pick a color that you would like to use. This is just one that I'm going to use right now. And I'm just going to load my brush with paint and water. I'm going to get another brush, and I'm just going to go tap, 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 tap on the top here. And just add some very cool splats here. Again, just add a little bit more water. And more splatting over here. More splatting over there. This is also adding some very cool little textures in our rainbows, if you can see that. That looks really awesome. I'm loving that. Now, we're just going to wait for this to dry, and then we're going to come back and show you how to add some cool little details. So you'll just need a little fine liner or a texter, and let me show you what we can do with it next. Is your rainbow picture dry? Mine is dry now, and I really want to show you some really cool things that we can add to this picture just to make it a little bit more interesting. So if you've got a fine liner or a texter, whatever you have, let me just show you a few little ideas, and I'm sure you'll have some of your own too as we go through this little process too. So let me just grab my fine liner here, and I can already see here that I've got some different colors that I didn't even put here before, because as it's dried, you can see here I've got some very cool colors there that weren't there before, which I love. I definitely love a watercolor painting after it's dried, because it just reveals a few other things as well. So I'm just going through and adding in, this one's probably a bit thicker in fact, this one here. Just what I can see straight away. Again, I'm not being super neat with any of my lines. This one here I might do a little bit thinner and make a bit of an arch as I'm doing it, just so they're all a little bit different. And if you like your rainbows just as they are without any of these fine liners, that's fine. I will look forward to seeing how they turn out. Okay, so I'm just going to do this one down here as well. Oh, I've got some very interesting things happening in this particular rainbow. Wouldn't it be cool if rainbows actually look like this? Some splats and all kinds of things are going on here. Making a little bit of happy mess. Alright, so there are my lines, but you know what? I might even just add a couple of little, maybe some circles in this one here, just to give it a little bit of interest again. Something a little bit unexpected. And just using my imagination as I go. I don't have a particular way that I'm doing this. I'm just doing as I feel right now. And maybe this one has a few little zigzag lines in random places, just to make it a little bit interesting too. There we go. This one, maybe I'll do stars. Why not? Let's do some little stars here. again, you're going to have some really awesome ideas too. This is just getting you started a little bit. There we go. Some cool looking stars there. And this one I might just do some little random stripes in different places. Makes it look a little bit interesting, doesn't it? Again, I had no plan. It's just like, you know what, I'll just do a few little lines. Let's see where that takes us. These are all just ideas. A few more over here. Okay, and I really like the circles. I'm going to make these ones a little bit bigger over here. A little bit bigger, maybe some smaller ones too. I'm going to swap ends of my texture here. This one's a bit thicker on this side. There we go. That one's a little bit different again too. And this last one here, maybe I'll just do some random dots on all of them. Let's see what happens here. Random dots on just the lines. Now that's just given a lot of interest to my rainbows. And you know what? This would make a really beautiful card for somebody. If you like to give cards to your friends, your family, you can make a nice handmade card. It's something very special about receiving a handmade card from somebody, because you know they've taken the time to do it especially for you. Okay, so the last thing that we can add here, now you again might like to use paint or you might like to use fine liner, but this one here I might just add, this one here I'm just going to do fine liner. Okay, just a few little random clouds. Again, not being too perfect about that. Now, if you want to do just watercolor, you can definitely do that. I'll pick a nice light blue color first. So just doing a few little swishes around here like this to make some type of cloud. And whilst the paint is wet, you can add in a few other colors too. So I might just add a few drops of blue in here, the darker blue. Looks quite cool. Alright, let's do the same for these top two as well. I've got all my rainbows quite squashed in here, haven't I? But I do like how it's filled the whole page. It makes for a very colourful picture, doesn't it? Again, I'll just add a little bit of blue into that one as well. And that looks really pretty. Alright, let's just add some down here as well for this rainbow. These ones might just be really big ones. They don't have to be all exactly the same. Okay, and a little bit of blue, the darker blue, just dabbing in here and there. Just however I'm feeling at the time. A few down here as well. There we go. Now, another thing you might like to do is you might like to add some fine liner details on your clouds if you like, the ones that you've painted, or you might like to just leave them like that. Another thing you might like to do also is using paper towel is really fun. So you can scrunch up your little piece of paper towel and you can do a few little dabs like that too, which will make your clouds look a little bit more fluffy. So that's just another way to add a little bit more texture to your picture. There we go. So we've done some splatting, some blending, we've done fine liners, we've used the paper towel, and here we have a beautiful, colourful rainbow picture where you might like to write some words on too. So I hope you enjoyed this class, and I will look forward to seeing your beautiful rainbow picture soon.